Sherry here with our August updates and all that we have been doing here at Pearl at the Mailbox to protect kids from grooming and trafficking in America. That's our mission. And I just want to share with you some of what we've been doing and where your donations go. And we thank you so much for those that have given their treasure to help us continue to get in the trenches and make a difference on this front, because there is not enough education about the grooming process to possibly stop trafficking. And that is our focus, to get people educated about that. So let's see, where do we begin? Well, this is kind of exciting. I really wanted to create a parent packet full of information that had to do with what is grooming, what is a groomer, signs of grooming, what to do if you think someone's being groomed, how does grooming go, how does it go from grooming to trafficking, what should a parent do, what should teachers do, what should those in the faith community do. So much information, and I wanted to have this packet to give to parents and teachers and community leaders to help them go through this process. Well, what I thought was just going to be a couple pages turned into a book of 250 important pages of information. It's called From Victim to Voice, a survivor's guide to protecting children from grooming and trafficking, for teachers, parents, community leaders, and basically for anybody that wants to understand it. Let me just read the back of it. Every child deserves safety. Every parent, teacher, and community should have the tools to protect them. Sherry Lopez knows the dangers all too well. As a survivor of child grooming and human trafficking, she transforms her painful past into a mission of protection and empowerment. With honesty and clarity, Sherry pulls back the curtain on how predators operate and how ordinary families and communities can stop them before it's too late. Inside this book, you'll learn what grooming really looks like in schools, online, and even in safe-seeming places. The tactics traffickers use to manipulate, control, and exploit children, practical checklists, tools, and conversations to build trust, resilience, and safety at home, in classrooms, and across communities. How to recognize red flags and what to do when you see them. Let me just read some of the chapters for you. Just the chapter names. There's too many, I couldn't read it. Of course, in the beginning, there's a pre-test to see where you are on understanding of grooming and exploitation. Then we talk about consent. What is consent versus grooming and trafficking? What are myths and facts about grooming? Signs of potential grooming, types of groomers, types of grooming. Oh, and why should parents be concerned about grooming? What is in-person grooming and how does it work? Do kids being groomed realize what's happening? Will kids tell you if they are being groomed? How to talk to kids about grooming? What is sextortion and can it lead to grooming? Can using porn lead to grooming? There's just so much information. Let me just read you some more. We get into social media, red flags. You might be talking to a groomer online. Children who may have been groomed or trafficked, they often test boundaries, what that is. Helping trafficked kids rebuild their confidence. Long-term support for a child who has been groomed or trafficked, and then all kinds of just helpful resources of why survivors' voices are super important in the education process, and then checklists in the back that you can actually download from our website. Cell phone checklist. Is your child ready for a cell phone? Simple questions to ask yourself as the parent or guardian. Social media checklist for parents, and so much more. This is a valuable resource for anyone that has children in their lives or works with children, and you can find it on Amazon. And on my original book, Pearl at the Mailbox, my memoir, which shares in a non-graphic way how I was groomed at the age of 15 by my high school boyfriend's father, is a good read too, because it helps the reader follow the process that I was subjected to over 3 months when I was groomed and then trafficked. And then, of course, my children's book, Smart, Safe, and Strong. This is important too. We need our young kids to start understanding what good touch and bad touch is at a very young age, even before they can read. This is cute. It's got great illustrations. It's had really good reviews. Here's some cute pictures. And it has conversation starters in the back for parents to have with their young kids. This is actually really a good baby shower gift if you think about it, because you have to have these conversations at a young age. So that's all of the books and stuff that we're doing, and I am working on my final portion of my memoir called 6,000, which will launch in January, which is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. So hang tight for that. We continue to work on all of our legislative issues, topics we've got going on. We're continuing our deep dive into every state, and this is just Arizona. This is just a lot of what myself and Jessica at Pearl at the Mailbox we're going through. Basically what this is we are reviewing every state's current laws pertaining to prevention, protection, and prosecution of protecting children, human trafficking, and survivors as well. We find out how much information is a state really putting out there, how invested is a state in protecting your kids. So this is something that we are preparing for when January hits and the legislative process starts. It's a big deal, because if we can't change these laws, we can't protect our kids better. We continue to mentor young survivors, which is, here goes my dogs, and they're playing, which is such an honor, because we're being invited into a very fragile space for these young ones, and I'm talking under 18, that are needing support. And having a survivor walk alongside them as they navigate this process of trying to put a life back together or create a new life based on how long they had been trafficked. This is such an honor, and we continue to do that. Can't talk about it, but that's a lot of what we do as well. And so we continue to do that. We are preparing to head back to DC on September 15th. This is where we have our big push with lawmakers to get them to stay on top of trafficking bills, grooming bills, child protection bills, things pertaining to the child protection services in each state. And we have to go to DC to get these federal bills pushed through. We've been successful with a couple. We have a whole list more, but a lot of times if we can't get the states to do certain things to protect the kids, we go to the federal level to see if we can make a federal bill that covers all states. But in order for us to keep these topics relevant in these lawmakers that have so much on their plates, we have to be there. We have to be present. We have to meet with them in their offices. We have to go to these Senate roundtables. We're not going there for vacation. It's so that we can continue to push these important topics and keeping it in the forefront, all of these lawmakers, and say, no, you've got to protect our kids, and this is how you need to do it. So if you feel led, we are $2,000 short of getting there. It's expensive every time we go. We go 2 to 4 times a year, depending upon the need, and when we can get in front of a large majority of lawmakers up there on Capitol Hill. And it's definitely not a vacation, people. We are working from sunup to sundown. We're chasing down these people in order to get an audience with them. And it's important that we do this. This is how we fight with the law to protect kids. So if you feel led to help us with that, it would be greatly appreciated. Started a new series, and it's on our social media, Facebook, Instagram and X. It is called 30 Seconds to Protect a Child. And it's just little snippets, 30 seconds of what you can do today to protect a child. All different topics pertaining to social media, grooming, again, trafficking prevention, having good relationships with your kids, cell phones, online. So check that out. Look for that on our social media apps and so forth. And then, of course, I've had the opportunity, and I always appreciate when people invite me to come and speak. I have traveled to many locations and just been able to share my story of how easily it happened to me being groomed without even realizing what was happening. And my parents having no clue, because I lived at home from the age of 15 and 18, and my parents had no idea what was going on, and I had no way to tell them. So I share this because I need to. It's not always comfortable to talk about it. It brings back a lot of emotion, but it's important. I need to do it because I don't want what happened to me to happen to the kids in your life. And then here in Arizona, we're also starting the preparations for laws here, and we'll be having some meetings with lawmakers soon to update some changes here in the Arizona Sex Offender Registry, and more to come that we can't just discuss yet. So Pearl at the Mailbox, named in honor of an amazing woman who rescued me from my 7 years of trafficking at Apartment Mailbox. We continue to push forward. I'm sorry about my dogs. I thought maybe I'd be able to get through this, but anyway, we are doing a lot behind the scenes, and we need sponsors. We need people that believe in what we're doing to partner with us. We need you. Our kids need you. So again, if you feel led to donate even $10, it helps greatly. So those are our August updates, and we'll be back in September to update you more on what happened with our visit to DC and all that stuff. So thank you.